I believe that money is like oxygen. The more you have, the easier it is to breathe. And the more you have and the easier you can breathe, the bigger the difference in the world you can make.
Welcome, everyone, to our Hero Capital show. I'm your host, Tim Mai, and today I have an amazing guest on the line with us, Miss Catherine Bell, president of Titan Impact Group, five-time international best-selling author and real estate investor with over 20 years of experience. Catherine and her team have raised over $114 million in private capital and have been involved in more than $330 million in assets under management across mobile home parks, RV parks, commercial properties, and real estate developments. Catherine is also the founder of Wealth Wise Women and Bell Community Foundation, where she's leading a national efforts to help children in foster care find permanent families. Catherine, thank you so much for being on with us today. Welcome.
Tim, thank you for having me here. This is a huge honor. You're like a really big deal.
Not as big as you. And I'm super excited to talk about all the things that you have going on. Every time I talk to you, I'm like drinking from a fire hose with all that you have going on and new initiatives that you have. And so, yeah, let's if we can start with how did you start your real estate journey, and especially here in the commercial real estate industry?
So my journey began just a few years ago. I came to this country at 26 with nothing. I married my late husband in 2001, and he had a dream, and we turned his dream into a multi-million dollar company. So I was a millionaire by the time I was 30. So I love the American dream. It's pretty freaking fabulous. And we took the company, we sold it in 2008, 2009. We all know what happened. The economy crashed, and we had all of our eggs in one basket, which was single family homes. Don't ever do that. Make sure you allocate across different asset classes. So we lost everything. My husband got super sick, and I ended up having to go back to work to provide for our family. And so that's ultimately where the journey began, was that I learned that the average millionaire had 7 streams of passive income. So I was like, I got to figure this out. And so I started investing. And through my journey of all the different asset classes, wholesaling, single family homes, I ran a program here in Arizona called Flipping Females that I partnered with women, teaching them how to invest. And we flipped about 500 properties here. I had my own hedge fund. We did vacation rentals. Then I did residential ground up, commercial ground up, was doing all the things. And in 2018, my husband died very tragically, leaving me a widow and a single mom with 14-year-old twins, which I hadn't planned on. But at that point, I had created 13 streams of passive income for my family. And that gave me the freedom to be able to take a year off and grieve with my twins and figure out what I was going to do next, which is how my company came to be, Titan Impact Group. So Titan is being the sentinels of the American dream. Impact came because during that year off, I got really introspective, and while we were grieving and going through all of that, and got really clear that chasing money wasn't the answer, but making an impact was. And so what I got clear about is that moving forward, any project we had anything to do with, we must leave every person, property, and community better than we found them. That was really important to me. And then the other thing is, I ended up forming Wealth Wise Women, and that is for, I should have called it Wealth Wise Families. So really focusing on helping families create a minimum of 7 streams of passive income. And why is it 7? Because the average millionaire has 7. And as I speak from stages and talk to more people and through my books and stuff, discovered that most families have experienced 3 of the 5 Ds. So it's death, divorce, diagnosis, downsized, or being dumped. And so when we have all those are devastating themselves, but you add on the financial aspect of it, and it's even more devastating. And so teaching families how to create those passive streams of income through the relationships, the who's that know how to do that so that they can stay focused on their active income, is really important. And then, of course, my other nonprofit, which is focusing on getting the 120,000 adoptable children adopted out of the foster care system, which prevents them from becoming homeless, being trafficked, or even incarcerated. So it's a whole other thing. We created the 555 Club. $555 literally gets a child adopted and saves their lives. That's a whole other thing. And then group is set up that all my investments are set up that everybody can participate in them and create those passive streams of income. So coming out of the grieving with my husband, I got really clear that all the different types of investments that I had done, I talk about about this in my second book, is what type of investor I am. And I love two things. I like to be the bank and I like to rent dirt. Those are my things. So all of my deals are structured around one, if not both of those things. So we do RV parks, notes. We have a debt validation fund. It helped over 33,000 veterans and first responders, paid my investors 20%. Now we're focused on data centers. So small bay industrial. So there's a lot of things that we're doing that are, again, helping the communities. And again, leaving every person, property, and community better than we found them. So that was a long answer for a short
Love it.
question, but it's all relevant.
I love it. And yeah, sorry about your loss of your husband and just
Thanks.
how you use that to guide you and getting clear on your vision and the impact that you want to make is yeah, super inspiring. And yeah, you're always up to so much big things. And I want to lead with you mentioned your second book and you've written 5 books. You're on your sixth or what?
8 books.
8 books,
8 books.
holy cow.
Yeah,
Like how you even in on top of all the things you always have going on, how do you even find time to write so many books?
I have the answer. Do you
Okay.
want the answer?
Yes.
AI. Like
Nice.
literally, AI has changed my life inside of so many amazing things, and most importantly, capital raising. Can we dive into this for just a
Yeah,
sec? Because I feel like this
let's
is
go.
really important for people to understand. So my journey with AI was I was partners with one of my other partners who's a health and wellness franchise company, and she insisted back in 2023 that I go to this conference and we were to learn this thing. And I was like, look, I am apped out and softwared out. I cannot learn another freaking software or app. Oh my God, kill me now. And she's, no, you need to go. So I went kicking and screaming. And I ended up learning from the best of the best, literally from somebody who literally brought the World Wide Web online. That's a whole other thing. Spent these 3 amazing days. Mind was blown. It was incredible. All of a sudden, like my mind opened up and my mind thinks differently. And so fast forward, I started like playing with this and doing all these things. And what ended up happening was I literally like fully integrated AI into our team and into our company as actual team members, not just tools. So we literally have created these personalities and brought them to life and have conversations with them like every day, all day. It's extraordinary, all the things that we've been able to do. And when we understand that AI is not meant to replace people, it's meant to have people be way more productive and profitable, all of a sudden everything changes. So fast forward through a whole series of events, I ended up writing several books. And I wrote my first 3 books and I realized that writing books, and yes, I wrote 3 at a time because I realized I had so much to say that it didn't all fit in one book. So I had to put it in 3. So I knew that when we write a book, that there was no way to find out who bought the book or how to follow up. So what I did was I created a clone of myself. So you can see on the bottom of my screen, it says katherinebell.ai. All of you can
Mhm.
go talk to her right now. It literally is my personality. It's 20 years of business experience, investing, all of that, all in my clone. And so what I did was I also knew that statistically, people don't actually read a whole book. They'll only read a couple of chapters. And so at the end of every chapter of my books, what I did is my call to action is to go talk to my AI clone. So in November of 2024, I released my 3 books with my clone. Didn't think much about it. And then within 3 weeks, I accidentally raised $11 million. Like,
Wow.
how crazy is
Good.
that?
No,
All of a sudden, I
wow.
was like, I think I'm onto
Wow. I
something.
love that.
And the secret literally is what's called mid-funnel nurture sequence. So mid-funnel nurture sequence is the most critical piece to any capital raise. And this is the piece where most capital raisers miss this point. So you have your top of funnel, which is where the leads come in. Then you have your mid-funnel where the people are getting to know, love, and trust you. That part is usually a part that gets missed, and it's the most important part. And then there's the bottom part where they cross line, they become investors. So what happened is with my books, my webinars, my clone, like everything becomes mid-funnel nurture sequence. And
Mm.
that literally has allowed people to have conversations. My clone has had 118,000 conversations with people since
Wow.
November 2024. Like,
Wow.
I couldn't do that. And what they've told me is that they literally, it's the one place that they can go to ask the questions that they normally wouldn't ask about investing because they don't want to feel stupid. That was really powerful. And then people have had so many conversations with her that by the time they actually talk to me, they feel like they know me because it's my voice, personality, all the things, which again, my kids are creeped out by it, but it works. So people have 24-hour access and people literally call her at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Love it. Wow, that's impressive. So, can you go into how did, a clone AI like that, people can have conversation, led to that $1 million, 11 million, I'm sure a lot more by now, investments. What does that journey look like? The customer journey. So they chat with your clone. Does your clone then, as people are chatting, initiating them to book a one-on-one with you? Like, what does that customer journey look like from them reading your book, going to your chat bot, and then somehow investing with you?
Yeah, so it usually leads to them finding me some way, whether it's through my books or through podcast recordings, all social media, whatever. Then it goes into my clone. They end up having multiple conversations with her, which ultimately leads to either they get directed to have a call with me or directed to come to our podcast or directed to whatever resource it is that fits with whatever conversation that they're actually having. And then eventually through that, generally when they're ready to invest, some of the coolest conversations I've had is I had this one particular woman, she called me and she said, your clone literally coached me through creating the 7 streams of passive income. Like, how insane is that? And then she said, I want to talk to you because I want to create passive income number 8 so that
Mm.
now that money is allocated to go pay for schools and orphanages to be built overseas with missionaries. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Literally, it's making America wealthy again. Again, if every family has a minimum of 7 streams of passive income, and then passive income 8, 9, 10, 40, again, are all created to go make an impact in the world. How extraordinary is that? But the biggest thing that I keep stressing is make sure you're in all the different asset classes so that your portfolio is diversified no matter what happens in the economy or politically.
Okay. So your 7 streams of passive income is not just all real estate, but you're teaching your audience to diversify into different assets. Are they all alternative or some of them has to do with like dividend stocks as well? Give us a big picture view of that.
So you have your active income, and here's the thing that we teach. Your active income is meant to buy assets that provide passive income, and then your passive income pays for your lifestyle. And we're indoctrinated in this country to believe that your active income is meant to pay for your lifestyle. And then you're stuck in the rat race. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when we teach, look, and again, being diversified into the different asset classes, because again, learn from my mistakes. And I'll tell everybody this one of my favorite books to read is The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham.
Okay.
He says, we don't need to be making more better decisions. We need to be making less stupid decisions. And that comes from taking the time to slow down and think. When we lost everything in 2009 and literally went from being millionaires to being homeless, it was because we didn't think through different asset classes. Yes, we were in different assets, but it was all the same asset class. It was one of the stupidest things we could have done. And so
Mm.
now hindsight in thinking through it, it's, oh, if we had been in different asset classes, okay, now that makes a big difference. So that's why connecting with all the people here, you all are the who's that know how. Dan Sullivan's book, Who Not How. Again, it's the connecting to all of those so that people have the opportunity to be in all the different asset classes so that they're
Mm.
protected. So that's, again, super, super important. Again, my mission isn't necessarily that every investor invest with me. That's not what it is. Make America wealthy again, because again, I believe that money is like oxygen. The more you have, the easier it is to breathe. And the more you have and the easier you can breathe, the bigger the difference in the world you can make. And if you can make a difference, you must. That's what we're all called here to do.
We're gonna go into that here in a little bit. Share with us what other ways have AI been helping you with your capital raising?
Okay. Oh my gosh, nerdy conversation. So it's been super cool because I've had multiple family offices, hedge funds, PE groups, venture capital firms come in and have us bring our entire team in and literally build out all of their AI relationships, right? Again, it's not a tool, it's a relationship. So when we build these, everything changes. So let me be clear about this. If you haven't done this, here's some like funness. So we build out a Rosetta Stone, which is a strong, firm foundation for your company. And here's the important thing. You want to understand, like if you're building a multifamily, the higher you go, the deeper and wider your foundation needs to be. And so we build a really deep, wide foundation based on AI. So you can go as tall as you want to go in the proverbial sense, right? And we build these out for customized for your company, which is really important. And of course, I talked about the ideal client avatar. Mine is Elizabeth Thompson. She's 45 years old. She's been married for 20 years. She has 3 kids who've all gone off to college. Like literally, I know what her and her husband struggle with. I know what keeps her up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like having such a deep, built out personality matters because when we have conversations with her, at the end of the day, when it comes to marketing, having the right message in front of the right person at the right time is critical. If you don't have those 3 things, you're literally wasting marketing dollars and time and energy. So by having that, that changes absolutely everything. And she is the one who gets the final vote on all of our marketing. We run it through her. She tells us whether it's going to work, not work, what needs to change, all of that. And it gets literally voted on. It's amazing. So then the other thing that I did was we build out our virtual advisory board because here's what I know that the worst things we can do is believe our own BS, take our own advice, and be impressed with our past accolades. So having a group of advisors who will literally lean in and tell you the truth, no kidding, that is the most critical thing that we can do. So I built out my virtual advisory board and it's Warren Buffett, Richard Branson, Ray Dalio, Tony Robbins, Sarah Blakely, and Jamie Kern Lima. The reason for me is because they're all billionaires. They're farther along in the journey than I am. And they all run their companies very differently and they all have some form of impact. And I upload whatever it is that we're working on and it's fantastic. They will literally rip the whole thing apart and tell me all the things that are wrong with it and then turn around. I can see the whole conversation of how they're telling me to structure it or whatever the coaching is to actually do it better. So they're all a hell yes, they're in. Having that insight has been huge. And then the other thing that we recently built a couple more tools because it's just so nerdy fun is that we built Deal Hunter and it is the most extraordinary. You guys can all go to it. If you go into Chat GPT and you go to Explore GPTs, you can look it up. It's Deal Hunter by Landshark. Literally, you can upload any deal into it and literally say, run this deal. And within minutes, you will have a deep understanding of everything there is to know, not only about the deal, but the surrounding area, the economics. Like we have it pull all the data from government websites, from every website, and it literally you can click on sources and it'll show you where all the information is coming from to literally analyze deals and tell you not just what you're looking to do with it, but what if there's a higher and better use. And again, do the numbers. Numbers tell you what to do, like how it actually can be structured. Like mind blowing. And this, if I had this during Flipping Females days, oh my God, the amount of time it would have saved us analyzing deals, literally mind blowing. It is so freaking awesome. And then we built this other thing, again, based on my experience, was we built the investor survey. And why we built this is basically like the Briggs-Myers test for investors because I have so many investors and they're like, what should I invest in? Based on my journey of 20 years, it took me 20 years to figure out that I like to be the bank and rent dirt. What if you could literally find out in like minutes what your sweet spot is? So we created the investor survey. Again, ChatGPT, you all can go to it. So it's investor survey and you'll see it says by Landshark. And so you fill out this whole, it's 125 questions, but it literally takes your personality profile and tells you literally these are your asset classes that will make your heart sing, and then turns around and gives you a 90-day blueprint to be able to take the next actions to be able to accomplish your next stream of passive income. How freaking cool is that?
That is.
Again, all with AI. Instead of you can go on the 20-year long journey and figure it out for yourself. I did the hard way. Or you can use AI to literally like speed up that process, collapse timelines, and then add some commas to your bank account. I don't know. I like commas and collapsing timelines.
Gotcha. I love it. So you've been building a lot of custom GPTs to help you with different aspects of your business and then consulting with it. And I would assume your team uses these things in their work as well. That's really cool. Sounds like ChatGPT is a really big tool for you. And I know, what are some of the other big tools that you use a lot in your business?
Yes. Okay. So we just released one. I'm so excited. Okay. So we have a team that's built this whole thing out. Get this. And you all can actually call it right now if you choose to. So it's an AI. This is all AI. Seriously, it'll blow your mind. It's so freaking awesome. So if you call, hold on, we've created a call to our AI clone, and it is so human, it's ridiculous. You put me on the spot. I'm like, where's that phone number? Where's that phone number? So call 480-393-5548. 480-393-5548. You can have a conversation, literally take it to the point of having like actually get scheduling the call. And we built this out, and our team has the ability to literally build it out for all of you. So again, it's a tool that allows for it to have conversations much like my clone, and then turn around and actually schedule calls in your calendar with somebody. Have the experience with it. Again, it's insane what we have the ability to do and how intuitive and interactive it is.
I can see a tool like this when you're working B2C, that this makes a lot of sense. But like in our case with investors, they're more similar to a B2B, I would think. Is this phone number at where in the funnel, the journey, the customer journey, do they see this phone number for them to call? Yeah.
So there's two ways. So either they can talk to my clone, or it's in all of our social media and our posts to be able to actually call and get a call scheduled. We also have a campaign going out through either they have an email campaign, a text message campaign. Again, the call to action is to click here, have a conversation and schedule the call, and it'll actually have a conversation with them before they get to the point of actually scheduling a call. It literally is mind blowing.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And are they people able to text, like for the ones that, don't like calling, are they able to text the same number and go through the same booking process?
Not texting that number. We have another number that's linked to, and we also have calendar links. So there's lots of ways to be able to, if they just want to schedule a call,
I
be able
see.
to do that. Yeah, this is more like they want to have a conversation before whatever it is. So people are
Gotcha.
asking the phone number. So here's
Yeah,
the phone number again.
I put in the chat, everyone, 480-393-5548.
So check it
Yeah.
out. Have some fun. Try and break it.
I love it. Yeah, so you're building a lot of AI tools for you to use in your business and open that up for others to use in their business. That's pretty cool. One of the things that we talked about before we jump on, actually, before I move on, any other tools? Any other
So many
tools?
tools. Okay. Do you want me to share something insane that my AI just did? So we just did a whole financial pro forma. So we're getting ready to raise capital for an RV park that we've got here, and then another one for a data center. And I was running through the different models of how we could actually like present this deal. So let me share this with you. Literally, this took my AI, again, it's customized. So you have to remember that this isn't like standard, but this is what it was able to do in, I don't know, it took a minute. It was about 10 minutes that it took to do this. Do you see this spreadsheet?
Yes, uh-huh.
So it
You
took
might want to
all of
zoom in
our
a bit.
financials.
You might want to zoom. Can you zoom in a bit so the
Yeah,
people watching there we go. That's
is
much
that
better.
better?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So you can see it literally has all the metrics here, and it's telling us what to watch for the things. Then it built in all the assumptions here. Then it built in the capital stack. Then it built in the debt service, the revenue projections, then the NOI and cash flow, and then the investor waterfall, and then the exit scenarios. Literally did all of this in 10 minutes. How
So,
long did it take for you guys to build out some serious spreadsheets?
yeah,
This was literally talking to it and talking through all the things. And we uploaded a few documents and was like, okay, now build it really comprehensive, told it all the things I wanted. Again, it's customized. So this isn't like a generic thing, but literally, like, that would have taken our accountant like a good week or so to build all the things out because it's really comprehensive. So,
that's
again,
impressive.
really freaking cool tools.
I love it. Yeah, I think most people don't realize I wake up every day trying something new, doing, yeah, kind of like you, right? I'm like, wow, I feel like AI give me this superpower that I've never knew I had in me, but it brought it out in me.
Right?
From cool things like what you just showed, I've done other things. I'm building out a really badass AI driven underwriting tool right now. So people don't even
Huge.
need spreadsheets anymore. I built out a really cool options trading bot. Even
Oh, you
uh,
and I got to talk
I-
about that. Oh my gosh. That's been the other
yeah.
thing, other world that I've gotten
And,
into. Oh God.
yeah, and I use AI to write music, to write like all incredible things I do every single day. And yeah, I do feel like I have a new leash on life for sure with all these AI tools. So really cool to see all that you're doing. Okay, we're gonna transition a little bit. You're doing some cool stuff with opportunity zones. Tell us
Yeah.
about that.
Okay. So, with the Big Beautiful Bill Act that just came out, Opportunity Zone 1.0 is ending at the end of this year. Opportunity Zone 2.0 starts in January. So, given all the things, yes, we used AI to dig through
No,
the insane, all the bills with the Jobs
no.
Care Act, the Big Beautiful Bill Act, and how all of it comes together. And we wrote a manual. Yes, it's a 500-page manual, but I have it as a hardcover, a Kindle, and also an Audible book. So it's all on Amazon. It's called OZ Wizard 2.0. OZ Wizard 2.0. And here's what's happening. Here's why we did this. Because again, do the numbers tell you what to do? Is that we created this as an actual manual for people to get certified as Opportunity Zone advisors. And here's why, for three reasons. One, for people who want to invest in Opportunity Zones so they fully understand it. Two, for operators who want to dig into this whole world. Or three, for people who want to become certified advisors so that they can come along the operators that do not have the time to learn and figure all this out and master it. And they can now not only advise them, but become partners inside of all these different projects. Because you guys, here's the numbers. They're saying that over the next 2 years, there's 19 trillion with a T,
Wow.
trillion dollars coming through the pipeline in capital gains, and it needs somewhere to go. You
Wow.
guys, we call this a clue, right? So understanding the benefits of this is huge. And it's changed from 1.0, and there's lots of reasons behind all of that, which I'm not going to get into, but now 2.0, again, truly extraordinary. It is mind blowing. So there's lots of ways to be able to structure and create these deals. And it's not, people think like it's only in these like Section 8 housing. That's not it at all. We're personally working on a couple of them that have data centers, septic tank company, an actual private jet company. There's
Oh, wow.
lots of different ways that we can structure this now in the 2.0 program that literally is helping lift the economy in extraordinary ways. So we wrote that book and super excited about it. And so the book is, I forget how much the book is, but I put the audiobook for $5. Like for $5, go listen to it. Literally, your mind will be like, but the potential and opportunity is huge. So that's why we created that. We're working with several government agencies in getting this fully certified. And so it's blowing their minds because they don't even know all the things. So we're helping even educate government employees and officials so that they understand this. So yeah, that's been extraordinary. So I would say everybody, opportunity zones aren't going away and we're leaning in further. And this is like for the next 10 years, you guys. But the next two, 19 trillion dollars.
Where's that money coming from? So that 19 trillion, like
Capital
who's
gains.
exiting? Yeah, yeah, but is it baby boomers exiting the companies? Is like that where the money is?
It's baby boomers because what they're projecting is, and I was actually, let me grab this statistic for you because I wasn't even fully present to this statistic, which was really powerful. What they're saying is that with the businesses that are coming through, the businesses that are being sold, I just got to listen to, if you don't know him, Vic Keller, really extraordinary human being. He was the one that actually shared this with us. So he was talking about that, okay, the greatest wealth transfer in the world. So 10,000 baby boomers retire every single day. There's 84 trillion dollars in wealth that's being transferred over the next 20 years. 70% of small businesses have no succession plan. This is crazy. Yes, he is a badass billionaire. Got to talk to him and spend some time. And anyway, extraordinary human being. But yeah, again, it's coming from businesses, it's coming from assets that are being sold, it's coming from as people are aging out and retiring, all the money being moved through. Again, $19 trillion, you guys. Like, come on.
That's phenomenal. All right, so your book, and
Which one?
especially like the OZ
Okay.
wizard. Okay, it's funny with this OZ wizard. So you're certifying people to become OZ advisors, consultants.
Correct.
So how do people on this call, the listeners that listening to this show, how do they take advantage of that? Where's the opportunity for them?
So we have several opportunities. Obviously, you need to go read or listen to the book. We're going to have a workbook that's going to come out so that you can actually go through and then attest. The tools that we have is ozwizard.ai. That's the AI version of the Opportunity Zone Wizard. And then we also have a chat GPT that we built, OZ Wizard 2.0. In chat GPT, you just go to Explore GPT's OZ Wizard 2.0. So we built out several tools for people to be able to talk to, plug in deals, and it'll literally walk you through all the things, whether you're an operator, an investor, an advisor, like all the tools that are there. And if you actually want to be a certified advisor, reach out and then we can have that conversation with you. So all the things, Catherine, are at meetcatherinebell.com, or you can talk to my clone, catherinebell.ai. She knows all the things.
Nice. I love it. All right. That's super cool. I can't wait. I see it's on sale on Audible right now for $2.97.
There
So
you
that's
go. See, there's no excuse. Come on, guys. I'm literally giving it to you. It was the lowest they would let me put the price.
I
That's
love
how committed I am to people really getting this education and like doing good and doing well. This
it.
is a beautiful opportunity to do this.
All right, what you just said, doing good and doing well. Let's transition into that. One of the conversations you and I had was around your foundation, what you're doing with the foster care system. Share with us a bit about that, the foundation, what you're out to solve, the problem that you're out to solve, who you're serving.
Yes, this is where you and I, our hearts like connected forever on this, is that there's 120,000 adoptable children in the US foster care system. And if these children are not adopted before their 18th birthday, then they experience Black Trash Bag Day, their final one. And so imagine being 18 years old and being handed a black trash bag and told to put all your belongings in it, and then you're homeless. 70% of our homeless population came out of foster care, which leads to drugs, prostitution, and being trafficked. 60% of the kids being trafficked came out of foster care. And 2/3 of our incarcerated population came out of foster care. So literally this cause solves massive social issues that our country is dealing with. And here's the solution. 2.1 million families are looking to adopt these children, and they don't know. And it's as simple as there's 120,000 congregations out there that if each church takes on finding one family to adopt one child, we could get this done. So what we're doing is we're raising $55 million and we're using AI to connect all the tools, all the resources, all the nonprofits, all the adoption agencies, everything together for these families, not only to be able to be paired up and matched with children that it's beautiful for all of them, but how communities can support them, like all the things necessary for the communities, the kids, the families to make that impact that they're here to make. And it's you guys, people hear this and somehow they hear it's only teenagers. The reality is I adopted my twins out of the foster care system. They were 4 months old, because what people don't know is that, again, how it happens is The foster care system is designed specifically to have the parents get them back on track so they can be reunited with their children. But there comes a point in time when those adults choose not to do the work they need to do, that the courts sever the parental rights and say enough is enough. It's clear that these children will be in the foster care system, their whole lives. So let's now make them adoptable. So as a foster parent, you can go in two tracks. One, to be a foster parent with lots of kids in and out of your home, which my heart couldn't do, or go in with the intention to adopt. So the only children that they actually placed with us were children who were adoptable. We got our twins when they were 4 months old. They're now 21. My son went on to be a U.S. Marine. My daughter's building her life. They're building amazing lives, their version of their life, right? So it's not just teenagers, it literally is babies. So understanding that. So we created the 555 Club. So for $555, chosenforever.org, it tells more about the story. You literally can get a child adopted. We've already gotten 69 children adopted. We're working on more. I know it sounds like a lot, but to 120,000 children, it's not a lot. So for $555, you get to be a hero. You get to be a part of the 555 Club and know that you literally changed a child's life and the reason I know that is because I was a black trash bag kid. I was adopted when I was 16 and it saved my life. And because of being chosen and being loved, I decided to go make a difference in the world. Imagine if 1% of those kids decide to go make a difference in the world. That'd be 1,200 adults that go to make an impact because they were chosen and they were loved. And so that's why we called it Chosen Forever, chosenforever.org. So I have a book, I have the website, I have all the things. We need to get this done because then literally we're dealing with the homeless population, taking kids out of harm's way from being trafficked, dealing with them being incarcerated. Like, we can do this. So yes, that's my mission.
All right. Shai, can you put the link in the chat, please? What was that again? Chosenforever.org.
Chosenforever.org. Yeah.
Perfect. Wow. One of the things that most people don't realize, because I work with Paul Hutchison a lot on sex trafficking, and I did not know this until you told me actually about the stats about how many of these kids that age out of the foster care system end up being homeless, end up being like trafficked. Can you speak into that?
That's why what we're doing is so critical. Again, yes, we have Paul Hutchinson and got to meet him and want to work with him because here's the thing, you guys. Yes, there's all these organizations out there who are helping kids transition out of foster care, transition or get rescued from sex trafficking. But what if, we can literally move them out of harm's way so we never have to rescue them from those things. Because here, you guys, here's the science behind it. And they've done so many studies on this. It's that when a child has a family, what happens is even if it's later on in life, their neuron pathways get connected in a way that allow them to actually go on and form healthy bonds and become productive contributing members to society. This is really important for people to understand that transitioning them out of foster care isn't the solution because it doesn't connect the neuron pathways necessary for them to go on and form healthy bonds and become productive contributing members of society. Statistically, they end up repeating the cycle that they were unfortunately born into. But when we can change those neuron pathways, we change their future forever. Even if they're adopted at 16, like I was able to go on and be married with my husband for 20 years before he died. Go on, I adopted my kids. Like, I'm clear, if I didn't get adopted, those neuron pathways wouldn't have been formed. I was never going to get married and never have kids. I literally grew up saying that I was never getting married and never having kids. And here, because that changed, those neuron pathways changed, I was married happily for 20 years.
I love
and
it.
had a boy and a girl. Again, it's all about handling it and getting them taken care of before they become homeless or become trafficked or become trapped and incarcerated. There literally is a solution.
I love it. Yeah. One of the things that there was another gentleman, his business is also along this line, but it's a for-profit company, and I want to get your take on this. He provide mental health services to children, especially the foster ones from ages 5 to 24. So even when they age out of the foster care system, he's still able to support them, and it gets funded by the government What do you think? Are you familiar with those type of services? Because I was gonna
Yeah.
connect you with.
Yes. And what I'm also clear about is that, again, through AI, we're going to connect them to all those services. So
Okay.
again, we need to get them adopted so they don't even need those services. But even if that happens, like there's
Yeah.
still, again, bringing community around them. Because here's the thing that was really powerful for us. When Christopher and I went through the adoption process, there literally
Mhm.
was 20 other families that went on this journey with us. We all ended up adopting sibling groups. And
Mm.
because we had a community and we were all going through this journey together, it literally was extraordinary in our journey to be able to not feel alone, to be able
Mm.
to share resources and all those things. So
I
that's
love
why
that.
the AI that we're building, again, to be able to do this and connect all these other nonprofits and churches and all the other resources, that now they have this whole ecosystem that can help them in whatever way is necessary. Because again, it's not a one size fits all. We're clear about that. And all these nonprofits are doing amazing good things, but they're not connected in a way that everybody can find them. We want them to be found so that they can make that impact in that community that they're called to make.
I love that. Awesome. Yeah. Again, Catherine, thank you so much. Yeah, really appreciate you.